All right, so this is your first podcast.
It is. Welcome, guys, to the Scrappy podcast.
The Scrappy podcast.
Scrappy podcast. My co-host, Evan Nagao over here.
What's up? Oh, this is your water. I'm going to get some water. Talk to the audience.
Okay, cool. Welcome, Scrappy podcast. Co-host, Evan Nagao. We were talking tonight. We had what we call a mastermind or green light. What do you call it? Green light
thinking session.
Green light thinking session. And we had a group of some friends, and we're trying to achieve our goals. What we say could be achieved in 5 years, but break it down to 90 days. And we went around in the circle and talked about what's going on in our lives and how we want to achieve it. And so one of the things we talked about tonight was me doing a podcast, and one of our friends was like, why not tonight?
Yeah, because you said, what was the date you said? We're like, when are you going to post your first podcast? And you said,
I said next week or March 24th.
And I was like, oh, how about by this weekend?
And then one of our friends was like, I like tonight. So here we are. So
this podcast is literally the result of our green light thinking.
It was literally a scrappy meeting, and we pulled it together. Mm-hmm. And that's what the podcast is really going to be about is pulling things together. There are some characteristics of a scrappy person: determined, making it happen, forging paths, being super brave and bold, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, this is exciting. This must feel exciting for you.
Yeah, it's like a glove, it's putting on a glove.
It's like a glove.
So what's really cool is I met this guy, Evan, on February, what was the date?
24th.
February 24th. Okay, this is the cool thing, guys. So February 24th was my birthday. 3 days prior to February 24th, which was February 21st, I'm having coffee at the Kaka'ako Starbucks in Salt, Kaka'ako. And I see one of our friends, mutual friends, Priscilla. She comes walking in.
Oh, that's how this happened? I actually didn't know about this part of the story.
Yeah, I was sitting having coffee. I woke up early that day because I wanted to get a great start on my day. Having coffee, reading the Honolulu Advertiser like a grandpa. And I'm sitting in the corner, and Priscilla comes in. I was like, hey, Priscilla. And then we hug, and then she's like, hey, I was just thinking about you. Do you want to come to my friend's gig thing? And I was like, what is it? She's like, he's throwing a concert on the mountain. I was like, that's dope. Super dope.
On Coco Head.
On Oahu in Hawaii. And so she sends me the art, the flyer, iMessage. I get it. I'm super stoked. I was like, yeah, they're throwing me a birthday party on the mountain. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my own concert. and I got enrolled, and I was like, okay, let's do this. The morning of, I get to Coco Head around 6 a.m. and it was kind of nippy, so I start running laps around the place. And then it comes closer to 7 o'clock. That was our registration time, and then I walk up. I probably was one of the first guys that showed up, and I was like, I didn't know who Evan was yet. I saw one of the pictures, but I was like, Evan. And then obviously he's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Shook his hand. First time meeting him, and great vibes. We get to the mountain. We get, everybody comes in. And
I appreciate your help, by the way, because we needed all the help we got. Because, so the day before we actually were going to go up the mountain, we only had 20 people or something signed up, and so we were just scrapping together all the people we could get, because we were carrying a full PA system, a full drum set, guitars, bass, all these chords. We literally had everything we needed for a full concert. And it was just dude, how are we gonna get this shit up the mountain? This is a good idea in concept.
Hey, we did it. We had some guys that were muscle builders. They had abs that came in.
Dude, that one guy Ramsey, he carried the 60-pound speaker all the way up. He didn't even stop.
He's a beast.
Yeah, and he did. Okay, so real quick on Ramsey, he ran 10 miles that day from Diamond Head to Coco Head.
That's right.
And then he went up and down the mountain, and then he came and helped us and carried the 60-pound speaker all the way up. And then he went a couple more times to carry other shit up.
Ramsey was the Filipino looking one.
Yeah. The tick, like, I mean, he wasn't even
they're all
big,
cut.
though.
They're all cut though.
Yeah, he was cut.
They both ran
Ryan and Ramsey,
Ryan and Ramsey. Yeah, they both ran from Diamond Head to Coco Head, which is like at least 10 miles.
Yeah,
or less.
I think it's 10 miles.
10 miles.
That's what they said.
And then went up the mountain.
Dude, he's another guy you should get on the podcast. Because he runs ultra marathons, like 100 miles marathons.
Bro, game.
Does triathlons, like all this stuff. Like
game.
That guy is the closest person to David Goggins I've ever met in real life.
But he doesn't act like David Goggins at all. Like he's super laid, chill back.
Yeah, he's like
unless he was being that way, just to chill around us. Unless he's really like a hard ass.
I think he's still Goggins. He's not even peaked yet. Because David Goggins, he talks his shit because he's like,
he is it. This guy runs 100 miles for fun. It's like, babe, I'm running 100 miles. I was watching one of these Instagram reels or whatever. He's like, I need to go for a run.
So anyways, back to your story.
Back on the mountain. We're going up the mountain.
Yeah.
We enrolled 30 to 40 people going up the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, that's why I really appreciated you just coming on last minute and helping carry stuff, because there was a few of my friends that didn't even show up. So having you there and having you help coordinate everything was like super cool. And yeah, it was super fucking fun.
Yeah, and what really got me too, and I'll keep on telling you this, Evan, over and over again, is just being there. Like, we'll watch the video, we'll share it later, that just being down with everybody else and watching you up there achieve that dream, that goal, is inspiring, right? And especially, I love music. Being an island boy, I love music. But I don't know how the universe was aligning that day. And watching you, Kapu, it always gets me. Kapu just like jamming the guitar, the bass, and he's just lying back on the railing. But it was the energy, it was the synergy there that made it whole, and everybody was just excited to be there. And what just sparked in me was that I get to be a part of somebody's dream and help them fulfill it. I think is what's got me excited for this next concert at the Waikiki show on April 5th. What's going on with that?
Okay, we'll talk about it. So basically, I'm taking a course, the same course that we've both attended, called Sci Seminars. And in this course, they told me to write down a 5-year dream, a 5-year goal. So my goal was to perform a concert for over 1,000 people. And it wasn't specifically at the Waikiki Shell. However, Waikiki Shell was definitely on my radar as one of the venues that I really wanted to play.
Right.
And then so after we wrote down these 5-year goals, then they were like, okay, so we want you to go for this goal within 90 days. See if you can manifest that. So I'm like, okay, I wish I didn't write down this goal, actually. This is like a really big goal. The most people I ever played for is probably like 20 people, So
even at Next Door?
At Next Door, yeah, there, it wasn't a huge turnout. It was just really close family and friends, side people. And I didn't really do the promotion that well, too, for that one. So, like, actually, yeah, I was... At Next Door, it wasn't even that big, and although I will say it was the perfect people because it was all the people that really supported me. Yeah. So that really gave me a lot of energy to go for this. So then, like, I don't even remember. I'm thinking, okay, I remember what happened. I was at the Sci Basic. I was staffing the seminar, and recently in January, and somebody like I don't even know how it came to me. It was just like, yo, you should throw a concert on Coco Head. And this is a thought that I had like months ago, and I thought,
wait, somebody shot that idea, or you've already had the thought, or somebody just brought it up and reminded you?
So I think somebody was telling me about one of their dreams that they're going for, and that was like, wow, like, really inspiring. Like, it was, I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like they hadn't seen their mom in like years or something, and they're like, I'm just gonna go book a flight and find her.
Oh, John.
Yeah, it was John. It was John. And
shout out to John.
Shout out John Vines. I think that was what it was, and it was like, wow, I'm gonna choose to do something like really like that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I was like, okay, throwing this concert on Coco Head. It's something that came up months ago for me, like something I wanted to do. And I was like, there's no possible way I can do this. Like, how am I going to carry up like 2 speakers and a full drum set, like, on my own, right?
Yeah.
Or even with the band, that's not enough people to carry everything up. So I just kind of threw it to the side. I was like, this is stupid. I'm not going to do this. And then at the basic, I saw all the support that we had, and also through playing PLD, which is like the 90-day side course. Like, there was all this support from all these people that were like the deepest level of support I could imagine. They're going to the ends of the earth to help each other, So I realized, okay, maybe this is possible. And dude, I swear to God, the first time I was sitting in the group and something in my mind, it was like kind of like God telling me, you got to say it. You got to say your dream. And I was like, no way. I'm not saying that.
Wait, what? Why? What was it like? What was your thinking behind, I don't want to say this?
It was just scary. Because I'm like, if I say this.
It was really that scary for you to.
Absolutely. So scary. Because it's like, man, if I say this and then I don't do it, like, that's a mark on my character as a man. So just saying it was like, I didn't know if I was able to do it,
Wow.
Because it's like you got to get 30 people who not only are committed to going up Coco Head, which is hard to get like one friend up Coco Head on a given day, right?
Right.
So I got to get 30 friends all the way up Coco Head, and they're gonna carry some heavy shit
for free,
and then we're gonna play a concert, and they're gonna carry it down, So I was like, dude, this is crazy, and so the first time I said it. Actually, it felt like it flowed through me because I wasn't able to say it consciously, and so my mind just turned off and something started talking, and it was like, yo, we're gonna throw this concert. I kind of felt like it was God kind of channeling through, like, we're gonna throw this concert on Coco.
Bro, I love it.
Yeah, it was like, and I was like, dude,
man,
this is like unreal. I don't know why I'm saying this, and I actually started crying. I started crying because I was like, dude,
I feel like crying right now. Like, it's just really living and listening to you right now, and being a part of that is wild. But
yeah, so yeah, I mean, it was interesting because I didn't believe it was possible, and then afterwards, the same guy, John, he came and talked to me. He's like, it's absolutely possible. You can do this. Like, just go for it. So I was like, okay. And it was John, Astra, and Sandy, 3 of my friends from the basic staff, and.
Right.
And they just said, we believe in you. You can do this. So I was like, okay, all right.
Did you staff? Oh, you staffed January.
January, yeah.
Oh, okay. I know I re-audited December.
Mm-hmm.
I just re-audited December. I was supposed to staff, but then I got a lot of resistance January. So
yeah, maybe we got to staff the next one then.
Yeah. Well, not this one coming up, but
yeah, the one after that.
Yeah, after that.
Yeah, so that started happening, and I started putting that together. I worked my butt off to just get all the details of that set up, because there's a lot of logistics about who's going to carry what up, who's going to help set up, who's going to be the opening act, all these things. So I set all that up, and then by the time the day came, it was easy. It was like clockwork. Everybody just knew their job, and we carried everything up. It went really easily. And so the intention with that was because since I set this goal to throw a 1,000+ person concert, I didn't know how I was going to get that to happen. So my plan was to create a viral video to promote that concert, and I didn't know what the idea was. And then when we had the idea to throw the Coco Head concert, I was like, that's the idea.
Right.
So then long story short, we threw the concert, and then I just made a short on that. So, you guys can check that out on my page. And basically the plan is to use that short to promote the next concert, which is going to be April 5th at the Waikiki Shell from 5 to 8 p.m. Which we don't even have the venue set up yet.
We have it.
We have it. We have it. Yeah.
Bro, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So we also met with the head of marketing and sales. Her name is Brandy.
Yeah.
From the state of Hawaii. She manages the Blaisdell, the Waikiki Shell.
Yeah.
And bookings and things like that. So we met with her. Was it this past Monday, right? Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
Monday. We gave her the vision. We sent out the request for proposal and stuff like that. Have you heard back from her? I sent out the original one that I was working on.
Yeah.
And then I tagged you in that,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get an email back saying she received it or anything like that. Have you been in contact with her?
No, not yet. So I'm gonna send it tonight. Since I released this short, my plan was to get this short to go viral.
Okay.
So get everybody like to comment
And then send out your proposal.
send out my proposal with the short on top of it, so
Okay.
she knows. Because at the end of the short, it says next concert Waikiki Shell April 5th.
Boom.
So, and then I was telling you, worst comes to worst, if we don't get the proposal, we just show up to the Waikiki Shell, 5,000 of us.
Yeah.
Just do whatever.
We're just gonna do it.
We're just gonna do it.
Like how we're doing it right now. First podcast. You know, I've been in front of the camera before and spoke in front of a mic, but I feel like this is just, you know, asking for support tonight for that. This is what we're doing. So this feels legit.
Yeah, no. And we have all the equipment. It's not like we actually have a camera set up. We have the mic set up. Like, dude, this is like, we're doing a legit podcast right
This
now.
is legit. It is so legit. Too legit to quit.
Yeah, when you're saying like how you want to help people to achieve their dreams,
Yes.
I feel the same way. You know? What?
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with
Yeah.
what you're saying right now.
Oh, okay.
It's because it takes away the focus from me. And the focus is not me. The focus is others,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because so many times I've been trying to figure out my why for the last 10 years, and I don't know what clicked on that mountain that day on my birthday watching you do it. It just turned the whole world for me, and that's all it takes. Sometimes is small things like that can shift someone's brain chemistry and be like, that's okay. That's what I need to do. Is how can I just help other people?
And that sounds like that's the intention of this podcast, right? So it's like we're gonna give tools, or you're gonna share tools that maybe other people. You know what you're doing is you're sharing the wins of other people, so that the viewers can get a sense of how they could do that for themselves.
For sure. And there's so many other things that we don't know about that are happening and people are winning. And if I can bring a highlight to that'd be awesome. That nobody else wants to, or they just don't know it. A lot of times I just kind of fall on things, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Because I mean, if I didn't run into Priscilla that morning, we wouldn't be here right now. At least I don't think so.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, synchronicities are crazy. There's so many different tangents. I want to get back to like the inspiration thing though, because I think it's just interesting how many people have been telling me after the Cocoa Head concert, like, that I inspired them to do something. Like with Isaac, for example.
Yes.
He's been wanting to do a food drive for a really long time, and he was saying after the Cocoa Head concert, it kind of inspired him to just go for it. So we just had tonight the first food drive, and we donated a bunch of cans. I don't know how many cans. It was like 15, 20 cans, something like that, to the food drive. So that experience of people telling me that that I'm inspiring them, that really like keeps me fired up. Because like even with this concert, like if it's just about me, it's not as exciting. However, when I know that people are seeing what I'm accomplishing, and then they're wanting to do something in their life, or they believe in themselves more, like that is so cool. Like,
Yes.
Like, so yeah, so I think that's the intention, alongside just throwing the concert, doing my dream, and also we haven't talked about this part, the charity aspect of it too.
Right. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, it's also just the inspiration part. It's similar to like what you're doing with the podcast. Like, I'm doing it in a different way with my dreams, with the music.
Yes.
So yeah, it's an exciting time.
So, dude, I'm super excited about Napua, Ho'ola Napua.
Yeah.
Then Pu'u Honua o Wa'anai.
Yeah, lots of Hawaiian words.
And the Greek guy. Ho'ola Napua. And then the last one is Friends of Waianae Elementary
Friends
School.
of Waianae. That one's a little easier.
So we even wrote all three of them.
Yeah, so I haven't. So it's with Pu'uhonua. I haven't talked directly to them yet. Actually, maybe you be somebody that can help talk to them.
Yeah, that's gonna be me.
They're just, I mean, so they have a fundraiser online, so we can just donate the money.
Yeah,
so
we can have the link. Yeah.
No matter what, we'll just donate the money. I mean, that cause is so cool. Like maybe you can explain. Do you know about the cause?
I just know that
Because you're from Waianae.
Yes, born and raised in Waianae. I just know that Waianae Coast on Oahu in Hawaii is the highest concentration of Hawaiian Native Hawaiians, and a lot of them are houseless. And I use that word. I learned that word from my cousin who did a lot of nonprofit work, and I said homeless, and then he's like, he corrected me and said houseless. And that's true, right? These people are houseless, they're not homeless. They live in their home, Hawaii. And so there's just a bunch of variables that allow people to be houseless. And there's a group of them. And there's a particular individual, Twinkle is her name. I don't know the nuances of everything, but I just know that she's their leader. She's their spokesperson. And she pulled the people together and cleaned it up because, houseless people tend to have a reputation of not bringing positivity, I guess. That's what my understanding is. But she's made this group of people, this community of people, be a positive impact in the community. And
it's like a village almost.
It's a village, exactly. Village mentality. And they, through their efforts, they've secured land, got some monies, donations, to relocate and build something that is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, I guess, or that actually looks like a village. And what we'll do, we'll have Twinkle on the podcast.
Ooh,
we can, especially all three of them, all the leaders.
Yeah, you were saying that. That's
all the leaders of these organizations, we should have them on the podcast.
Dude, Twinkle would be so amazing on this podcast.
For sure, wow. Yeah. My parents live right there. I can go say hi and talk story with her, and we can do something intentional.
Wow, that would be so awesome.
But, that's what that pu'u honua is. Pu'u honua o Waianae, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what that... We can ask Twinkle more about it, and she can tell us more, and we'll get the real story.
Yeah,
I don't know too much.
Deep inside scoop, because she's an amazing person, like an amazing leader too. Like just the ground rules that they have, that community. I was watching just a documentary on her and like the community. There's like this 3 strike rule where if somebody steals or somebody gets reported for misconduct or something, after 3 strikes they're out of the community. So that community is completely safe. And then they have security guards in the night watching out for the whole community. Yeah, they delegate, so
nice.
It's a different person. Got it. And it's just like they're just they're houseless. However, they're taken care of, so they have a home, right? And so that's like the coolest part. And just seeing her leadership of how she runs everything. Every day they have buckets that get the water that they shower with and stuff. They have this system for everything, and she devised like the systems for all this stuff. So it's just like. That's something that I want to put energy into, because I know she has a vision, and if we put energy into that, whether that be monetary or awareness or whatever, that's going to go towards supporting the people there. There's no corruption or anything. So with the concert, part of the money that we raise is going to go towards that. And so with the thing you started mentioning, she has like a new community that she's just starting to build. And it's not just her; it's like her and the people that in the organization. They somehow made a deal with the state to acquire 2 acres of land, and so now they're building like tiny homes, like legit homes, like out there to support these people that have a really difficult time like affording housing. A lot of them have jobs. Like a lot of them have 2-3 jobs,
right?
And it's just like housing in Hawaii is just so expensive. That these people that are native Hawaiians, like local Hawaiians, they're getting priced out of paradise. So she's giving these people an opportunity to have a house and like live like reasonable lives in Hawaii, in their homeland. So I really want to support this new project, the Pu'u Honua, which is like building the tiny homes in that land. So I think they raised like $133,000 or something, building a few, like some of the homes, and they're going to keep raising more money. I think.
Do you know how much they need?
Their goal is like 1.4 million or something.
Bro, let's help them get that.
Yeah.
I mean,
we need to help them. We need to support them.
1.4 million is easy. They print that much like in a second.
I know.
A blink of an eye.
Dude, take 1% of the rail.
or this proposed Aloha Stadium.
Yeah, so like, man. So that's one avenue. So some of the money that we raised through this concert that we're throwing is gonna go to that.
I love our subtweets, by the way.
Or what?
Our subtweets is that little. Never mind. Never mind.
Okay. What?
But
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Puhonua, that's one of them that we're gonna raise the money for. And
Napua, Ho'ola Napua.
Ho'ola Napua. That one is they support children who are fallen victim to sex trafficking. So they'll go in and rescue those children. They'll find out where they are. They'll go rescue them, make sure that they're nowhere near the perpetrators. And then they have like a camp where they stay for a little bit, like a rehabilitation center.
Where are they located?
They're in the North Shore. I think they're kind of like secretive about the exact location.
Makes sense.
Right. However, yeah, somewhere in the North Shore, and it's a rehabilitation center where they teach them how to be independent, how to love themselves again, and how to just break through the a lot of this trauma that they had. Because man, like some of them go through extreme sexual abuse and trauma, and
that's intense.
Like no kid should ever have to go through that. Yeah, it's just something that I feel really strongly about personally, and to be able to support that. The other thing is it's such a strong topic. Like it's such a intense topic that a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and that's the problem, because we gotta bring awareness to this thing. It's something that happens. Sex trafficking is a real thing, and everybody wants to shut it down or not talk hush about it. And it's like, well, how else are we gonna solve it then, right? Without actually just bringing awareness to it. So one thing is donating monetary funds through this concert, and then the other is just bringing more awareness to that happens. And from what I heard from the brief conversation with one of the organizers of Ho'ola Napua, is that sex trafficking in Hawaii is a lot worse than we know. Oh,
for sure. I don't know if within the last year that you saw some of these people in Hawaii in Home Depot parking lots or Walmart parking lots. These perpetrators are leaving markers on the car. They tag them, and then if the child or the woman, especially women and children, are targeted, then they know how to attack that car. So there's just so many nuances, but I'm sure anywhere you go, especially I think the U.S. is the biggest. It has the biggest industry of sex trafficking, and these kinds of things. So. Man. You gotta watch Sound of Freedom.
I actually just watched it.
You watched it,
yeah? Because you said to watch. I was like, yeah, it's just crazy that this exists.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
They said something. I think I saw at the end screen. It was something like 10 million slaves nowadays.
Worldwide.
How is that even that's hard to fathom. They said more slaves now than through all of human history or something. It just blows my mind.
$1 billion business. $1 billion business.
Yeah. So bringing it back to kind of the light side, that's one of the organizations that we want to support. I told them that when we throw this concert, I'll give them some time to talk about it, and just let people know what their organization is about. And really, their organization is so awesome. I was getting a lot of the details. So they rehabilitate these children, and then they find them, whether they'll find them a new place to live, whether it's because sometimes their abusers are their family or something.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then they'll be wards of the state, and then they'll find them a new place to live, a new home. So it's just such an awesome cause, and that's one thing that I feel really strongly about.
Yeah, I'm glad that these organizations are the ones that are helping us out, that we both have passion for it, and we can champion it. Mm-hmm. And then the last one is Friends of Waianae Elementary, or just Waianae, Friends of Waianae.
Friends of Waianae Elementary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's cool about that is I went to Waianae Elementary, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went to Waianae Elementary, Waianae Intermediate, and then I got into Commitment Schools 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Seahorses, go Seahorses. Shout out Seahorses, Waianae Elementary Seahorses.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, so
Because I
yeah,
heard
maybe you
that-
can talk about it too.
Well, I don't know too much about the Friends of Wine Elementary, but I just know that like last year or 2 years ago that one of our fellow Psy members, Charles Hulin, donated 100,000.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I don't know too much about what that 100,000 went to, but I know you've kind of talked to him a little bit, and maybe Janice and Brandon. So I'm not too sure.
Yeah, so
much.
I had a conversation with Janice Takemoto Gentile. So the 4 founders are Janice. So it's Janice and Curtis. They're like a couple, and then Brandon Oshiro. What's it called? Charles, and then Mark Tajiri. He's like an old school person from Psy. So all these people are from Psy, from Psy seminars. And so they created this this nonprofit organization to basically help give infrastructure to YNI. Like, I think it's not just, even though it's Friends of Wine Elementary, it's just in general, they're giving infrastructure to YNI. And so some of the things is like some of these kids like aren't even able to afford like food, you know, like, so they'll provide like meals for them at the schools, and then providing better teaching. So like, you know, they don't get much funding, right? So the money goes to like helping bring in better teachers, or like funding better programs to help these kids just develop in a more effective way. And also, like, you know, with some of the side teaching, some of the lessons from these success courses, like these kids are growing up to have more of a chance to be successful in life, which is just awesome. Because like when we can support our keiki, that's going to support them as adults. Whereas once they're adults, it's kind of harder to like influence them, right? So that's why I think is like such an awesome cause. So
That's awesome. It's funny you bring about like taking care of the kids first, because they actually are the future, right? There's this farm in Waianae Valley called Ka'ala Farms, and they focus on growing kalo, teaching traditional Hawaiian farming methods and things like that. And I remember growing up and seeing they had one of those tote bags, and the tote bag said, if you plant for a year, plant kalo. Kalo takes 1 year to mature, and you can harvest it and eat it. And then the second line said, if you plant for 10 years, plant koa, because a koa tree takes roughly 10 years to mature. And then the last one is, if you plan for 100 years, teach the children, which is unbelievable. And I think just the idea of planning in itself for long term is beneficial. But giving back to the kids in teaching them and helping them and investing in them is really planning for 100 years, and it's longer than a generation, and that's forward thinking. I think that's really something to be commended.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's awesome, and because we know the people running the nonprofit, you know, they're really stand-up people. We know their integrity, and so I'm really excited that we can benefit them, and also we're gonna benefit the audience who comes, because it's gonna be a super fun concert.
Heck yeah! Who's the two? Did we solidify the two beginning acts?
Yeah. So, well, I'm not sure about the second one. The first, we're working on. We're cooking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
bro, yeah,
we're in conversation with Kai Kenna Scanlon.
Oh. Kaikena.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? Hey, we said we was gonna call him. Let's try to call him right now. Yeah, why not?
You think he's up? You think he's awake?
Yeah, he's probably doing green light thinking right now. He said he was coming to Oahu. We got both our phones shooting the video right now, so maybe we could call.
Kind of late though.
Yeah, it's kind of late.
So maybe we'll call him tomorrow.
Yeah, it's never too late.
What, you want to call him now?
I mean, we could Facebook call him.
Oh yeah.
Maybe from, or Instagram call from your laptop. I don't know if we could hear him if you just turn up the volume, or is this connected to any kind of audio? That it would probably cut off.
No, it wouldn't capture. I could just hold it up to the mic. I mean, here, let's see.
You could just turn up the volume. You don't have to hold it up. Instagram call.
Friends with him.
Yeah, you could Facebook Messenger him, or Instagram.
Here, maybe you got to do it, because I didn't add him as a friend.
Or just go to click on message.
Message?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll see it though. It won't show up.
Wait, if you call, just call.
Just call.
Just call. Bro.
Okay. All right. Wait, where's the?
Usually there should be.
No, I think because I'm not friends with him, you might have to do it.
Okay, let's bring up Facebook.
So like, for context, Kai Kenniscallan, super icon in Hawaii.
Look,
He's also. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
He's also like friends with. We're both friends with him.
Yeah,
so.
he's my classmate. Shout out 2010 legend Squim Schools.
And I went to the kids basic course with him back in like, I don't know, 2001 or 2002 or something.
Crazy.
Yeah. And actually it's an interesting thing because we both became musicians, and I remember this very vividly. There was like this raffle at one of the Psy events, and he won an ukulele, and I really wanted the ukulele. Back in like, I don't know. So, oh, you might have to lower the volume. Yeah. And actually, so yeah, he wanted ukulele, and then I wanted ukulele. So it was pretty interesting that we both wanted ukuleles.
We're calling Kaikena on Facebook Messenger right now.
It's so late. It's like 11:53 p.m.
Yeah, that's right. So in Kanaka area. Okay.
Yeah.
We tried.
He's probably asleep.
Yeah.
We'll call him tomorrow though.
No, for sure.
So hopefully we can get Kai Kena as one of the performers, and then I'm gonna perform as well with my band Evan Nagao and the Modern Monks. So that's exciting. And so,
how'd you guys get the name the Modern Monks?
Okay, so it's actually interesting. So
it is interesting.
Yeah, I've always like done spiritual work throughout my life. You know, I would since I was like 18, my dad taught me how to meditate.
So wait, real quick before so your parents are Psy graduates.
Mm-hmm.
So they've done the work and they've done everything.
Yep. So they took the Psy Basic course in 1984, and then they took MLS, which is like the higher level course, and Psy 7 in like 1989. So when I was born in 1996, I was already kind of like, you know, they kind of taught me all these things about the tools to create success from the courses that they learned. And then I ended up taking the kids basic with Kai Kena. I called him Elijah at the time.
Yeah.
So I took the kids basic, and then eventually I took the rest of the courses later in life. Where were we going with this?
No, I was just going back because you said 18, but I just want to let the audience know that like by when you were still in your parents and not physically informed, you were already getting their genes and the chemistry was changing. You came out. You're a Psy baby, like literally, like your parents did all the work. It's like meant to be. So, but at 18 now, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting because my mom raised us with the intention that we believe we could do anything. My brother and I, and
which is a privilege. Like it really is a blessing to have that kind of parents that think like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm like so freaking lucky, so grateful that my parents had this ability to teach us these things. And so when I was like 4 years old, I actually got on like national television for the Yo-Yo. I was on the Jay Leno show, Ellen DeGeneres, Ripley's Believe It or Not, like Steve Harvey show, all these different shows.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can look it up. Evan Nagao, Jay Leno show. That's like the Tonight Show. That's the one that I posted on my YouTube channel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so there was all this stuff, and then I kind of grew up and you know, so getting back to the main story I was telling about, like Modern Monks, I started learning how to meditate from my dad when I was 18, and I just kind of kept doing it and just did it daily for years and years. And then I started to have these really wild spiritual experiences where I would go into like the deepest states of the most blissful peace that you could ever imagine, and realizing like the truth of our reality, which is like that we're all just one, and that we're all just creating all of reality all the time, like projecting reality into creation, and it's all just love. And anything that anything that seems like it's not love is just an illusion.
I love it.
Yeah, so this is like crazy stuff. So I was having all these
For
crazy
sure.
spiritual experiences, and I was like, wow, I just wish more people could
Well,
know
it's
about
crazy
this.
to people that don't believe in it, or I guess
Yeah.
not don't believe in it, but
Just forgot.
just forgot.
Yeah.
Forgot.
So I was like, man, I wish more people would remember this stuff that I'd been experiencing. And so then that's when I started writing music, and I realized that music is an avenue because it goes right in. Like music,
Yes.
it's not like words where you have to argue and think about, oh, is this right, is this wrong? It's like when you hear music, the energy of that music just penetrates right to the soul, you know? So that's when I was like, hey, music is going to be my avenue to like help people understand this energy, which is just the love and the truth of our ability to create and all this.
And what moment was that it hit you like that? Like that music was going to be the avenue.
Okay, so actually it was at the men's leadership course from Psy. There was a day I remember so specifically that like something hit me with my purpose in life. It was like I didn't choose it for myself. It was like, boom, like this is what you're gonna do.
Blink of an eye.
I was like, oh shit, like, dude, like this feels too big for me, you know? I was like, dude, what? Like, and you know what's funny? I didn't even play music at the time at all.
I mean, you're a yo-yo guy.
Yeah, I'm a yo-yo guy. I played a little bit of guitar just for fun in high school. I played Guitar Hero, you know?
yeah. Maps was my song, bro. Maps.
Maps?
Yeah.
Mine was Freebird.
Freebird.
Yeah, Freebird and Guitar Hero 2.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, so I did a little Guitar Hero. I played we had a piano at home, so I'd like doodle with the piano a little bit. Other than that, like very little music knowledge. So when something told me, hey, you're gonna go around the world and perform music and change people's lives, I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I just threw it to the side. I was like, whatever. That was just some crazy fluke. Like, didn't mean anything. And then later, after I won the World Yo-Yo Contest in 2018, so I went to the men's leadership seminar in 2015. And then I won the World Yo-Yo Contest in 2018. And after that, the music started flowing in, and it was like something just kept pulling me to music and performing music. And I was like, oh shit, okay, fuck. We're going down this path, I guess. All right, time to like strap in, you know.
For sure.
So that's kind of how it happened, and ever since then I've just kind of been, you know, working towards sharing this energy through music. And then recently I got together with Kapu, who's our mutual friend,
right?
Which is like pretty cool.
Shout out to Kapu.
Yeah, Kalani Kapu. And so we played our gig on Coco Head. That was the first gig we played together. And recently he told me that he was a Hare Krishna for like 1 year, which is essentially like heavy meditation, and also like, you know, extreme kind of like abstinence, no drugs, no alcohol, no sex, no, you know, masturbation, nothing. Wow. So he was telling me about his experience of becoming like really aware and kind of similar to mine. And I was like, I always had this idea like, hey, what about like for a band name, how about Modern Monks? Because we're like monks, except we're doing it in a modern way through music and through fun and jamming.
Oh, okay.
Instead of like, Om Namo Shivaya, you know, like whatever. Instead of doing prayer or meditation or whatever, how about we do it in a way that is fun, that engages people?
Relatable.
Yeah, so that's kind of the idea of the name Modern Monks.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we're going to do it. Waikiki Shell.
Where is Kapu right now?
Kapu, I don't know. He's probably sleeping.
Yeah, guys, it is 12 a.m.
Yeah,
because we had a great meeting, and we were like, I was down to shoot this podcast. So I'm like, you guys, I'm ready.
Dude, this is awesome. Like, this is like going for our dreams right now.
Yeah, you know,
this is you going for your dreams.
Yeah, I'm stepping into it, man. Stepping into it. But yeah, you know, I the biggest thing too is like using AI to assist me with some things. But I've gathered a lot of information from different podcasts that I like, and that's how I'm gonna model it. And then I'm gonna put my twist, of course. So it's just building it all together.
Dude, you're really good at podcasting. Like, from just this conversation that I'm having right now, I noticed just like your ability to talk and like form conversational pathways is like really good. I think you're like a natural at it, probably.
Are you hitting on me? What's so funny, bro? What's funny is we were talking about dating in our green light, what they call that, green light talk sesh. And the biggest thing what I notice is asking questions, the right questions, but also like listening in the third way, bro.
Yeah,
listening in the third, which is an activity, right? It's an activity or a principle that we learn in Sci seminars, especially the basic on how to listen. And one, it takes a genuine interest in the person that you're talking to. But it's also like if you like a girl, right, and you listen to her, like I think as men we should let the women do 80% of the talking, and we just listen, and then find what lights them up, and then press that button, and then just listen and repeat back to them what they're saying, and they're like, "Oh, good job, you're listening,
dude." That's the biggest game changer for me. That
what,
like,
listening?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, exactly what you're saying. Like that was like I think the most difficult thing for me in like dating and relationships was just like listening. And like once I started to practice that, like in going out and talking to women or whatever, and just like instead of like thinking, oh, what should I say, how do I impress her, whatever, it's like just, hey, like what are what's your life ambition or something, just any random shit.
Oh, like what was it like growing up?
Yeah, what was it like? You know what, my favorite one is tell me your life story in 1 minute.
Well, that's a tough one. That seems kind of pressure, but that's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, it's just anything that now they're talking and then you're listening, and that's been my practice, is just to listen.
Well, it's also just open-ended questions. Like, don't ask yes or no questions. I've done yes or no questions that gets you a yes or no, and then it kills the conversation. Whereas you just ask, like, what was it like growing up? That can go off in a whole angle that we don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just open-ended questions allows not only just women, but just in general people that you're talking to share what's on their mind. Because even just asking, oh, what's on your mind? What are you thinking about? And then right there in that moment, they're going to talk about what's on their mind. That's why Facebook, it's a targeted question. Even Facebook, right? What's on your mind, or what are you thinking about, is that question inside of the box, the text box. If you look at it right here, go on top of your Facebook. It's like, what's your homepage, like what's on your mind? Oh, look. Yeah,
what's on your mind, Evan?
Yeah, what's on your mind, Evan?
What's on my mind?
Yeah, and if you know the girl's name, you just ask her, hey, what's on your name? What's on your mind, Kristen? And then let her talk. Or if we're doing a podcast, right, we was talking about the green light thinking session. We also got your concert coming up, and then now we're talking about dating, or just asking questions. So, but yeah, I was made for podcasts.
Yeah.
What's funny is I've been talking about this podcast since like 2018. 2018, bro.
Really?
7 years. So what happened was, what had happened was...
Thank God we had this green light thinking session today. Yeah.
My two best friends from high school, Bronson Dabrowski and Drake Martin. I've been friends with Drake Martin since the third grade. It's like 25 years already. We've been friends. And then Bronson I met ninth grade when I got into Kamehameha Schools. But at some point in 2017, 2018, I ended up living with them. And then we all liked to watch Joe Rogan. And during that time, it was just super popular. We were all watching it at the same time. And I just had this idea. It would be great for all three of us to do a podcast together. Well, it never happened, obviously. Yeah. And I had the idea, and then through the years, it just got getting more popular and popular and popular. But, the universe works in crazy ways and allows it to happen the way it needs to happen. I love this song by Metro Boomin. It's On Time. And you got John Legend in that song. But every time I think things should have happened a certain way, or this is when it should have happened, I remind myself I'm on time. I'm exactly where I need to be at the time I need to be, and everything is in perfect alignment. So it had to happen this day, this year, with you right now.
Yeah, because maybe this is like your perfect leverage point where you'll have me, and then we're gonna throw the craziest concert. That's gonna get buzz. That's gonna help this podcast get more attention, and it'll also give you more credibility to get other people like, you know, Twinkle or Kai Kenna or whoever on. Like there, I don't know exactly. Like maybe, you know, I'm just saying there's probably some reason why it's happening now, like what you're saying.
Yeah, so. It's funny that you brought up that everything is love and everything else is just an illusion. Bro, I've told that to someone one time. They're like, "You're crazy." I understood the context, and when I told this particular girl that it was, you know, it's kind of,
it's a lot. It's a lot for some people.
It is a lot, and it is crazy to say that. But the guy that I learned it from, his name is Dr. John DeMartini, and the biggest thing was. Another thing that he taught me was that everything is harmonious at every moment. When you don't think that you're getting support, you're getting challenged, and then when you're getting when you are getting challenged, you're receiving support, and at any given moment in time, it is perfect. It is in alignment. So sometimes we think I'm just getting too much challenge. Well, no, that's just how much challenge you need at that time, and you have the same exact amount of support happening. So when I learned about that, I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." It's just everything is the way it needs to be at any given moment in time. But it takes work to see that.
Right. That's what it is. It's the awareness.
It's the awareness. It is seeing the hidden meaning and being open to seeing it. And when you see that, it's like, I keep on going back to this Moses analogy. Is like he has his stick and he parts the waters. It's like I don't know, the Matrix. I don't know. I'm trying to think about some cool thing that allows you to see, and you see it.
It's like the Matrix. Yeah. Once you step out of the Matrix, you can really see what's going on. Like two people can have the exact same situation, you know, like their father abused them as a child. One can say, well, so let's talk about twins, right? So like two twins are abused as a child. One can say, you know, my father abused me, so of course I'm gonna go abuse my child,
right?
Because it's all that I know, and of course I'm gonna live a shitty life where I live, you know, because that, like, I had such a negative upbringing. And the other twin can say, of course I'm not gonna be like that, because I learned from him, you know, the things that I don't want to do, and so I want to be the best father for my child that I can be. And it's like, one is seeing kind of like the purpose of it all and seeing that they have control over their life, and the other is being kind of like a victim to their circumstances. And the reason why I think that's like the Matrix is because when you step outside and you look at things happening to you as a part of the bigger plan, then I think that you're able to respond to things in a more effective way. It's about your attitude, right? So like in those moments where difficult things are happening, where you're stressed out or where things aren't going your way, it's like, okay, what is the lesson here? And that's when you realize exactly the John DeMartini thing, that it's always been about love. And it always is. It always is. Either you're aware of it or you're not, right? So it's more fun to be aware of it, because then you take life a lot more lightly.
Yeah. Love will keep us together. So funny, man. Life is great when you have that kind of a mindset, because you can like you were talking about earlier about, like, literally reality is happening for us right now, and we create our reality. Is super powerful. And what's funny is, like, growing up with my dad is a Leo, right? He's a fiery guy. I'll say that. My dad's a fiery guy. Mm-hmm. And growing up, you know, he would like to break things. And I don't know when it hit me was that I was like, but my dad's an artist too, so he's a pretty well-known Hawaiian sculptor. He can sculpt iron, stone, and wood.
Wow.
Right? He's a super versatile guy. But it hit me one day. I was like, dude, my dad can create and he can destroy, right? As human beings, we are able to create and destroy. And when I had that realization, I was like, wow, you can't know one without the other, right? You wouldn't know light was light if you didn't have darkness. And it hit me. It was like, as fast as I can destroy something, I can create something just as fast. And whether you decide to create negativity, create positivity, that's your decision. It's up to us. But it hit me that moment. It was like, I can create. So I'm going to go and create my reality. Literally.
Yeah.
Have you watched the movie Ready Player One?
No, I haven't.
Bro, I'm giving you all these movies.
I know. I don't watch movies. So any movie.
Well, what's funny is I just, like I was telling you guys earlier, I like to watch my stories on Instagram just because it programs my mind to like my reality. So whatever my story is what my reality is and what I'm creating right here, right now. Because I love creating things right here, right now. I'm not going to wait, right? We didn't wait. I said I was going to do the podcast when? March 25th. Yeah. And then you guys was like reminding me, no, Loa'a, I'll do it now. Let's do it right now. So executing on our lives immediately.
Yeah, this is like high level conversation. I hope people are following. However,
we'll see. We'll see. We'll edit this in.
Yeah.
The right people will align with the message and what we're talking about.
And I want to know, like, before we end the podcast, like, what is your vision for the podcast, and like, what's your intention, and what do you see in the future?
So, definitely Joe Rogan, an inspiration. Recently, Patrick Bet-David, another.
He's awesome. I love PBD.
Shout out PBD podcast. Cool. The home team. We're building our home team.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn, just is unhinged and super. I love his tenacity and he's fearless. I'll say that much. He's fearless.
That's a good way to put
fearless. And then Tony Hinchcliffe and the Kill Tony show. I love comedy. My friend Andrew introduced me to the Kill Tony show. It's the world's #1 live podcast, and the way that they set it up was they pick from a hat names, and then that person that comes up has 60 seconds to do a comedy bit. And I thought it was just so amazing because you got 60 seconds of fame, and either you bomb or you do good.
Yeah, and there's been some superstars coming out of that show.
Yeah, exactly. Like, talent is coming out of that, and so Austin is like the comedy capital of the world right now with Joe Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe, all these guys. They're just really bringing in a new generation of comedians. But all four of those podcasts, I love their formats. PBD aligned with the news that he's bringing news to the forefront. He reports on things that matter. For me, it matters, right?
Yeah, and he brings his insight to it too.
And for me, the vision is to cover those things that matter to me, and finding those people that align with me. It's not that to say that I'm not gonna look for people I don't align with. I'm gonna let it organically happen, just as much as this organically happened. Of course, I'm plan things. I want it to be organized. I want to talk to people that are thought leaders in community spaces or on thoughts that I think about. So that's kind of like the vision for it. I want it to grow. I want to talk to people. I want to talk to interesting people. I want to ask questions. I want to ask good questions, and see where people are at. I just want to bring awareness. I think that's the biggest thing. Just helping people to think about things, and I think more so put Hawaii on the radar as far as like what goes on in Hawaii, because I feel like being part of the United States, I have a whole another thought about that, being a part of the United States and the Hawaiian Kingdom. That can be another podcast. But we are part of the US right now, and and we do vote for an American president. And so I feel like we get the end of the stick in some ways, and I think there can be more awareness around that.
To me, there's like a really strong energy of aloha in Hawaii that people could benefit from, you know, from seeing what that energy is about. I lived in LA for a year, and
How was that? What part of LA?
I was in Echo Park, which is like pretty close to downtown.
Bro, I lived in Alhambra for like 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Echo Park is literally right up the road.
Right up the
in
road.
Pasadena, right?
Yeah, it's like
Just
right,
east of Pasadena.
Just east of Pasadena.
Yeah.
Or just west of Pasadena.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was interesting because it's so different out there. You know, everybody is like, they don't want to build connections until, well, not everybody. I'll say that there's good ones in
Right.
LA too.
Right.
Although like a large majority, they don't want to build a connection until they know there's something that you can offer them, right? Whereas in Hawaii, you go around, you go talk story, you go talk to the, you know, the lady at the supermarket or whatever. Like, it's just like there's just that aloha, you know. So I think there's a lot of people that could benefit from our experiences here and like the way that our culture is too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another thing I was thinking is,
Did that answer your question though?
absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm really excited to like see where this goes because, yeah, I think people are interesting, you know, and you just have to really dig. You know, maybe one day we'll get into the psychedelics talk.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of the things that Joe Rogan got so famous for, yeah.
Bro.
The DMT
Yeah.
and all that. The psychedelics talk.
I haven't done a full trip. I want to try a full trip. But the advice I got advice from a DJ. He was like, while I was living in Arizona, he was like, Loa'a, take like 2 or 3 people that love you and you want to be around. Go to Joshua Tree and do it, and it's going to be an amazing experience. And I think, you know, being responsible about it, because you can also people do it nowadays. They do it in pill form. What they call that when they
Microdosing. Yeah.
And there's a lot of benefits to microdosing too, as far as producing productivity, mind, and more wellness in that area. So
Yeah, I'll talk about my psychedelic experiences later.
Okay.
In a future episode. So you guys gotta stay tuned.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Stick around. Subscribe.
Yeah. I definitely think that's interesting because that's so out of this world, you know. And I'll quickly talk about one, like, so I went on an ayahuasca ceremony, and
I've been thinking about doing one of those.
dude, it was so powerful, man. Like,
Joined the ranks of Aaron Rodgers, huh?
yeah, a lot of these guys, a lot of high level people. Actually, there's probably a lot of high level people we don't know that are doing psychedelics to enhance themselves in some way. So I'll talk about my first ayahuasca experience. There was a few. However, the first time I went to do ayahuasca, I was holding a lot of resentment towards my dad. And I remember there was a moment where I was purging, which is like when you throw up. They call it purging because you're releasing energy. And I could physically see, maybe I was tripping. I don't know. It just felt like it was so clear that it was like this black muck that was coming out. And that was all the resentment. And that was killing me inside. And I just saw it and I purged it all out. And just through that act, the physical act of purging, all the feelings that I was having towards my dad, and I can get into that later.
Right.
The details of that relationship. Anyway, the point is I purged all that out and I felt so light. And it was like when they say like resentment is like drinking poison and hoping for somebody to die or hoping for somebody else to die, right? That's what it was for me. I realized that this resentment was poison for me. And so when I released that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like so much lighter, 50 pounds lighter. Like I took a backpack off of my shoulders.
I feel that right now. It's just you explaining that.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's like so powerful. And then I called my dad up the next day and I was like, hey dad, listen, like I forgive you and I want to make amends. And he was like so surprised, you know, because we had a rocky relationship. And it was just, we returned back to love. So that was my first testimony from my first ayahuasca experience, and there's like so many more. Just crazy.
You did more. You did more than one ayahuasca experience.
Yeah, I did several. So yeah, there's so many stories that I could talk about on that end too.
Thanks for sharing. No, that's super cool. Give me some background.
I remember when I like, just for like part of the fun part of the experience, like I just remember like, okay, I'll talk about this real quick.
For sure.
When I was breaking through and going to the other side, I remember seeing like Harry Potter, like all these keys like unlocking and like all these gears turning in it, and then slowly opened up from the center, and then I entered into the light and I saw like the other side, and I just remember becoming really aware of why I'm here as a human, and like all the generations before me to lead me up to this point here, and that I'm here to like serve my purpose, to experience life here now. It was just, it's like too much to even like express to really make sense. However, it was just a really strong understanding of present moment experience. Like, why am I here? I'm here because I'm here to give. I'm here to just be light and just to experience what it's like to be a descendant of all my ancestors. And yeah, it's just interesting how I saw all this, like became aware of all these different things. And yeah, that's one of the moments where I experienced like the truth of reality, which is that we're all light and we're all love, and we're all, you know, playing this illusion of suffering.
I love it.
Yeah. I think we gotta end soon because we're going like way too long.
For sure. How long has it been already? What's the time limit on that? Is that an hour and 7 minutes?
Let's see.
Or an hour and 57 minutes?
2 hours.
2 hours we've been talking?
2 hours. Oh yeah, that one says, oh, maybe this is off. I don't know.
2 minutes. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we can end it. Well, thank you for sharing. We're looking forward to the concert coming up at the Waikiki Show on April 5th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We got some amazing singers, some artists, and then we got some amazing nonprofits and groups that we're going to be sponsoring. And the biggest intention for us is to live our dreams at the same time supporting others and their dreams.
Yep.
And that's what the Scrappy podcast is about, you know, being determined about what we want to achieve, and pulling together what we have so that we can make it happen. And we will make it happen as we did tonight.
All right, let's go.
Cool, guys. Thank you for your time. Instagram Live. This one probably going on YouTube because we went horizontal on that one.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great night.
Good night.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Woo, we did it.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go.